Hello, Manitoba. I'm Larry McIntosh, and I'll be your host for the next hour. I hope you've been enjoying some of the many Manitoba-grown vegetables that are available right now. Peak of the Market growers have been extremely busy harvesting their crops for you to enjoy. And here's a list of all the Manitoba-grown vegetables that are available right now at your local store. And it's a long list. Here we go. Green beans, beets, broccoli, carrots, corn, green, red, and Savoy cabbage, cauliflower, cucumbers, kale, leeks, parsnips, rutabagas, pickling onions, shallots, zucchini, green and jalapeno peppers, green acorn, butternut, and spaghetti squash, as well as red, russet, and yellow flesh potatoes. And potatoes are our largest crop, followed by carrots for Manitoba. But I'm going to tell you, like green beans, cucumbers, zucchini, some of those crops are going to be winding up in the next few weeks. I can't believe they're already winding up, but summer's plugging along. As you know, we're heading towards September here. So please make sure you check out your store and buy some Manitoba vegetables. If it says Peak of the Market on the label, it is guaranteed to be grown right here in Manitoba. And remember, when you buy Manitoba grown, you're supporting Manitoba farmers. My guest today is Klaus Lahr, President and CEO of the RBC Convention Center. Thanks for joining us, Klaus.
Hello, Larry.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
So I'm super paranoid about calling it the Winnipeg Convention Center because it was that way for a long time. So I've got it underlined in my notes, RBC Convention Center. Because when did the renaming happen? Was it?
Well, the renaming happened about a year ago.
Okay.
And it's a 10-year agreement that we have reached with the Royal Bank of Canada, of course. And it's a partnership that is working out really well.
But it was called the Winnipeg Convention Center for so long. I'm sure, I know for me, probably for you, it would take a while to get that new rhythm going.
Absolutely. I've been with the Convention Center now for 22 years.
Really?
And of course, for 21 of these 22 years, it's been the Winnipeg Convention Center for me, but it's been the Winnipeg Convention Center for almost 40 years now. So, yes, it is a habit that is somewhat hard to break, but it's a good cause.
So I was watching Global News a couple weeks back, and they had the helicopter in the air looking down at the convention center talking about it. And we drive by it all the time, and that was a bit of a different perspective from the air, but it's really coming along.
It
Expansion.
looks very exciting from the air. Actually, it looks big from the street level, but once you see it from the helicopter, it's quite a facility. Absolutely, it puts us into a whole new ballpark as it relates to convention center. We will be the number 4 convention center as far as size is concerned, behind Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and then Winnipeg.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a big leagues.
Yes, we are going to be in the big leagues, and the response we're getting from the associations, they're excited about it and ecstatic because now they have one more choice to make in their rotation from east-west. So before it was for them, the choices were Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and then Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and now at least they have another rotation in it, which is Winnipeg.
Well, that's very exciting because
It is.
I'm a past director on Canadian Produce Marketing Association, which is a relatively large convention by produce standards at least. And we have done the Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, but now we've outgrown Calgary, so they're now only doing the 3 cities. But they book so far ahead to get the time that you want. That's got to be a bit of a challenge for you too, I would think.
Well, it's a very good point. I mean, we're booking into the 2020s now. We have inquiries for dates for 2025 already, so that's 10 years from now.
Wow.
For the very first time now that we have the space available, we have now people fighting for space in August. You usually were able to give the space away and you couldn't fill it in July and August. But now, because the larger space, we're in a completely different market, and that's exciting to see.
Now, did you call it a tier 2? Is that what the term you used, or what? How do you? What's that mean?
There are many expressions in which you categorize destinations, and there's many aspects that come into a tier 1 or a tier 2. Space is one of them, meaning the convention center space, but the air load factor is another one, and then the desirability of the destination, or the appeal, the tourism appeal of the destination, is a very important component, of course, as well. So we're firmly in the tier 2 market now, in line with Ottawa and Calgary and Edmonton, Halifax, Quebec City.
Right.
And the tier one in Canada, of course, is the usual. It's Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal.
And that would be partly because of flight availability to get there, direct flights, all those kind of things?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the international connections. I mean, we have a very limited international connection to Chicago and Denver, of course, which gives us a bit of a disadvantage. It would be nice to have more direct flights from other international destinations. That would definitely give us a boost.
And I know Barry Rempel at the Winnipeg airports would definitely agree with you there, and I know they're working hard on getting some other ones.
They definitely are. And then, of course, the new airport facility in itself helps us along in our argument as well.
So from a tourism point of view, and I know what you're saying, and I mean, conventions in Vancouver are beautiful. I won't say that Toronto is one of my favorite ones, maybe because I'm from there. It doesn't seem like I'm visiting. You know, I was born in Toronto, but Winnipeg has a lot to offer once you get them here.
Well, not only once you get them here, I think now with all the things that are happening in Winnipeg, you may have seen our tagline as Winnipeg is Canada's newest convention center. That is how we're advertising, because we've come to the realization that it is the destination that you have to sell first and then the facility. So with all the things that have happened in Winnipeg, the museum, the zoo, the park, the upgrades in the park, the new stadium, the Human Rights Museum, and so forth on, and now the brand new, refurbished, and expanded convention center, we really now have something in our arsenal to advertise and to promote and to attract with.
We're going to come back and talk a little bit more of that, because that's one of my interesting things is what we have so much to offer in this province. We got to talk about it more. But we'll be right back with Klaus Lahr, President and CEO of the RBC Convention Center, after we take this break for your weather update. Welcome back. I'm Larry McIntosh. I want to thank all of you who donated at our Family Fun Day, which was held a couple weeks ago. We had collected donations for Variety, the children's charity in Manitoba, at Peak of the Market's 17th annual Family Fun Day. We had record attendance and an absolutely beautiful day. Together, we raised $12,600 for Variety, and we had a fantastic time doing it. So a big thank you to all my coworkers at Peak of the Market, as well as the staff and volunteers of Variety who made the day run smoothly. I want to thank you very much. Now, here, talk about advanced planning. Please mark your calendar for Peak of the Market's 18th annual Family Fun Day. It's going to be on Wednesday, August 17th, 2016. That's Wednesday, August 17th, 2016. So it's a year away. Well, it's just under a year away, but it's going to happen again next year. I hope you can join us. We're back with Klaus Lahr, President and CEO of the RBC Convention Center. So we're talking off air about my passion for the Canadian Produce Marketing Association, getting the convention here at least once so they can see what a great city it is and what a great province and what a great time we can show them. Is that the challenge, getting a group here the first time, or what's the biggest challenge?
Groups that have never been in Winnipeg, you're right. It is a challenge. Winnipeg, unfortunately, has to battle with a lot of stereotype and impressions or reputations that are really ill-founded. Because once groups have been here once, they'll come back again and again and again. We have had, in the 22 years that I've been there, I've never had dealt with a group that has not come back. In fact, 78% of our business is repeat business.
Oh, well, that says something.
Yeah. So it tells you that people come to Winnipeg, we exceed their expectations, not only as a facility, but the city rises to the occasion. So it's a good experience coming to Winnipeg.
And one of my pet peeves, and I talk about in the show all the time, is we're not necessarily as Winnipeggers or Manitobans good marketers. We talk about, even some of my coworkers will talk to somebody in Texas or something. They say, "Oh, it's 50 below here today." Well, it was never 50 below, but we like to be hardy, you know. We like to tell the story. But that stereotype of mosquitoes and cold, and yes, we have both. We talk about it a lot. We kind of overplay that sometimes, I think.
But if you go to San Antonio, Texas, in the middle of June, if you want to feel a place that's hot, It is hot there.
I imagine.
It is as hot there as it is cold here in the wintertime. But you don't hear people from San Antonio brag about how they can put up with all that heat. So it's we kind of do it to ourselves a little bit, and I think we should put a sock in it, I think.
And I think we are getting better. I think we're
Yes.
taking more pride, but I think we're still hard. Maybe it's our humble, we want to, I don't know what you call it, but we got to be prouder about what we play. That's my thing. So the convention center expansion, how long ago did that start now?
Well, I've been at it for about 15 years.
Wow.
The facility that you're seeing now almost coming to completion, the substantial completion date is for November, early part of November, and we're right on target for that.
That's this year.
This year,
Oh, wow.
yes. The 100% turnover of the building is in March of 2016, so that's 6 months away from now. But the project, the evolution of the whole project has taken 15 years. And in these 15 years, it's gone through many evolutionary processes and in the design and in the shape and so forth on. And what we end up now with is an absolutely stunning and an extraordinary building from a functionality perspective. From a space, it's virtually doubling in size. With a city view room that is straddling the York Avenue from east to west, and with 50-foot high ceilings and windows that are 50 feet from floor to ceiling, a ceiling that mimics the prairie sky that is specially lit from underneath. It's going to be a stunning space. The ballroom on the ground floor, the York Ballroom as it is called, seats 1,800 people in a pillarless space with wood paneling and wooden ceiling. It's a very modern yet a very dignified and classy space. And the City View room that I mentioned earlier seats about 3,500 people.
Oh, wow.
In one seating. So, yeah, it'll be the biggest ballroom between Toronto and Vancouver.
That's great. And you unveiled it, I don't know how many years ago was the unveiling, and Shelley and I happened to be there. And that city room with the, as you're saying, 50-foot glass on both sides, right? Yes. You can see right through it. That, to me, is an amazing space.
It's the pre-function space that you to that ballroom. Is you can see the Human Rights Museum on the one side, you can see Portage Avenue on the other, and you can see all the way down to the Assiniboine River. The architects have really taken advantage of the location and build it all in. So it's very beautiful. Yes. And
with Peak of the Market, we've been to lots of convention centers with various vegetable conventions, fruit and vegetable conventions all over North America. Primarily, we've been in some in Germany and France and some other places, but primarily North America. But some of the things you rhymed off there, you may not think is a big thing, but pillarless is a huge thing when you're setting up a trade show. And having something like those windows is, I've never seen anything like that, at least in my experience before. That'll set us apart.
The window space and the air, the natural light and everything, that really is only into the ballroom is only really seen in Calgary and in Vancouver, in the new convention center in Vancouver. There's no other space like it in Canada for sure.
So that's something for us to be very proud of.
Absolutely, yes.
So you're saying substantial completion in November? Is that what you said?
Yeah, substantial completion is November, yes.
November? So that's not far away.
No, not at all. I think, 4, 5, 6 weeks?
You getting nervous?
No.
When do you have your first big event booked in there?
Well, the Grey Cup, of course, is the upcoming event, and the convention center, as always, has been and will be again the party central. And we are very, very confident that we will have some of the functions. In fact, the gala, we're trying to, we're working very hard on having the gala evening, gala party, dinner in the new City View Ballroom.
That's great. We're going to come back in a minute. We're talking to Klaus Lahr from the RBC Convention Center. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Food and Friends. I'm Larry McIntosh. I wanted to tell you about Peak in the Market's Recipe of the Day that will be featured in Monday's Winnipeg Free Press and at peakmarket.com. Monday's recipe will be cheddar soup. This recipe sounds quite easy to make, as well as it has onions and carrots in it. So it sounds very good. Cheddar soup will be featured as the recipe of the day on Monday in the Winnipeg Free Press and at peakmarket.com. And both the Winnipeg Free Press and our website have a new recipe every day, 7 days a week, so please make sure you check it out. I also want to remind you that Peak of the Market is on Twitter. Please follow us at Peak of the Market for recipes and Food and Friends guest updates. We have over 200,000 Twitter followers, and we'd love to have you follow us too. Again, we're at Peak of the Market, or you can follow me at Larry McIntosh. We'll be right back with Klaus Lahr, President and CEO of RBC Convention Center, after we take this break for your news, sports, and weather. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Larry McIntosh. Food and Friends Radio is on TV. Each radio show is filmed and will be posted on Mytoba.ca later this weekend. So if you want to see the TV version of this or previous radio shows, please visit Mytoba.ca. You can also listen to an audio podcast of Food and Friends at SoundCloud.com and at the iTunes Store. So just please do a search for Food and Friends with Larry at Mytoba.ca or SoundCloud.com or at the iTunes Store, and all the shows will come up for your listening or viewing pleasure. Now, it's very important for you to mention that Food and Friends is only available because of 680 CJOB and its advertisers, so please make sure you tune in right here Sunday afternoons at 1 or listen live at cjob.com. We're back with Klaus Lahr, President and CEO of RBC Convention Center. So we're just talking off air about, you're going to have all these events. You have this huge place where you can do dinners, lunches, whatever, and trade shows. How are you going to handle the food service part of it? That's going to be a lot of meals.
Well, we do. The good thing, the good news is, so to speak, is we will add a new, completely new and modern, ultra-modern kitchen in the new expansion. So we'll have twice the capacity for events, and we have twice the capacity to serve it.
Oh, wow.
We can have a fully kosher event going on in one of the ballrooms, while the other kitchen produces regular non-kosher, regular North American food, which will give us a great variety. It was always difficult in the past to service kosher events, and we do a number of kosher events because you had to kasherize the kitchen, and that took it out of circulation for other events and so forth and so on. So now we can do the one out of the one kitchen and the other out of the other kitchen. It's not uncommon that during the grad season, for example, we will serve 20,000 dinners in 1 week.
20,000?
20,000 dinners in 1 week to the graduations. And that with now having double the capacity probably will increase tremendously too. So,
From a trade show point of view, again, going back to Shelley and I and some of our coworkers going to these trade shows, there's the trade show floor, which you're obviously worried about, but there's the breakfasts, the lunches, the dinners. That's really the social part of the event. That's kind of key too, right? And you'll be able to handle all of that.
Well, the expansion now will enable us to have all of the trade shows on the third floor. We have 140,000 square feet of exhibition space on the third floor, pillarless space, divisible into 4 different halls, A, B, C, and D, and or like, for example, we will open with the boat show on March 1st, which is a full house event, followed by the RV show, full house event, followed by the World of Wheels full house event, then the home show, so forth on. So the first month and a half of the opening will be full house from wall to wall.
So let me ask, while you're talking about all those shows, I mean, those shows have all been in the convention center for years.
Right.
How did you fit them?
Very good question. We used to fit them in the existing facilities while taking all 3 floors. But what the disadvantage of this was that it took the rest of the market completely out of capacity. So we could only do the show, and the hoteliers were not happy with us because we couldn't book any conventions because the trade shows took all of the space. Now we will have the trade shows on the 3rd floor, which still leaves this first and the 2nd floor open for conventions and meetings and conferences. So we will not only have room for bigger trade shows, but we will have room for bigger trade shows and conventions and conferences. So it's multiple events at the same time. That was our goal.
And if you're a trade show organizer or an attendee, having everything on one floor is the ultimate, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. The ingress and the egress, i.e., the move in and the move out, will be so much easier. We will have a loading dock on the north side and a loading dock on the south side, so you can bring 12 highway semis to unload at one time. The south loading dock will take 5, and the north loading dock can take 7. The move in and out is absolutely a dream. Would be the envy of any convention center in Canada for that.
I was going to say that because, again, the convention centers we're involved in, we bring in about a truckload of produce and our racks and everything else, and it's scheduling and trying to get it on the floor. And we do a rather large display of fresh vegetables, so it's always a key for us to get it in. And loading docks is a concern.
Absolutely, and we will. It'll be so much easier. It'll be a dream to move a show in and out. As I said, we definitely will be the envy of our colleagues around in Canada. Yes.
Now you're still going to be able to do smaller dinners, smaller groups. It's not all just about the big conventions.
Oh, absolutely. The ballroom that I spoke about earlier on the ground floor, the York Ballroom, divides into 5 different combinations, so we could accommodate 1,800 or 120. So and anywhere in between. So it's definitely a variety of venues that we would have. Yeah.
It's going to be confusing for you. You're going to have so many things going on at one time. You're going to have events everywhere.
That's why we have 2 kitchens.
and the 2 kitchens has to be key in being able to deliver on this, right?
Absolutely. And then well-trained staff that looks after it. I mean, that's one thing people ask me how we do it, and I said it's very easy. I have great staff. They can do it, and I'm very lucky that way. So
I want to talk. We're just going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about the economic spin-off of conventions and what that means for our city and province. 'Cause I don't know if everybody realizes how important that is, but we'll save that for the next segment. We're speaking with Klaus Lahr, the president and CEO of the RBC Convention Center, and we'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. I'm Larry McIntosh. With children going back to school shortly, you know what that means. Fundraising will begin soon. For all of you that are involved in a school or daycare fundraiser in some way, I just want to tell you about the Farm to School Manitoba Healthy Choice Fundraiser. This fundraiser is open to all Manitoba schools, public or private, K-12, and all licensed daycares anywhere in Manitoba. And basically the fundraiser works like this. The students sell bundles of Manitoba-grown peak-of-the-market vegetables to raise money for their school or daycare. It could be to raise money for a school band trip, sports tournament, new equipment, whatever it is. Bundle A has carrots, cooking onions, and red potatoes and sells for $10. Bundle B has larger packs of carrots, red potatoes, and cooking onions, as well as green cabbage and parsnips, and it sells for $20. The great thing about this fundraiser is that the school or daycare keeps half the selling price, a 50% profit, and that's good for any fundraiser. Last year, this fundraiser raised over $400,000 for Manitoba schools and daycares. That's what they kept, $400,000. The fundraiser begins September 16th and runs till December 9th and is open to any school or daycare anywhere in the province of Manitoba. If you're interested in getting more information on the Farm to School Manitoba fundraiser or to register your school or daycare, please visit their website at farmtoschool.ca. That's farmtoschool.ca. We're back with Klaus Lahr, President and CEO of the RBC Convention Center. We were talking just before we went to break about the economic benefits of getting convention people into town. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely, with pleasure. Larry, when we decided that we should promote the expansion of the convention center, our strategy was based on basically 3 aspects, and we called it the 3-legged stool. Why we should, when asked why should we expand, and the points were that the people we're doing business with now, the trade show promoters, the show promoters, so forth on, want to grow. Our space limitations prevented them from growing their business. So that was strategy 1. With an expanded convention center, we would help our customers to grow their businesses. Number 2 was to be able to accommodate multiple events, and I spoke about that a little bit earlier, multiple events at the same time. And number three was that we, with expanded expanded facility and a bigger square footage footprint, we would be able to go after business we were not able to attract in the past. In particular, the summer months, July and August, when the family business, where mom and dad are in a certain group, be it Rotarians or military reunion or something of that sort, would travel with the family. We were too small to attract that business. So those were our three strategies, or three reasons why we should expand. The PKF, which is an international consulting group and a research firm that specializes in hospitality research, we engaged them to support our reasoning. They said that with an expanded convention center, we will increase our economic spin-off into the community from the $38 million that we're producing presently a year to about $54 million a year. So that's about $16 million more a year that we would attract. We would attract from 100,000 room nights a year to about 130 to 140,000 room nights a year. So that's a substantial increase. And if you take the cost of the convention center, that cost to build it, of $181 million, 181.6 to be exact, and you divide it by the 16 million just on what the customers are spending in addition in economic spend-off, you can see that the payback of this investment is relatively quick. So we're saying that it is a very wise investment. It creates employment, not only the building, but it is lasting investment in hotels, car rental agencies, taxis, etc., bus transportation, and so forth on. So all in all, a tourism dollar multiplies, actually, some people say 7 times.
And again, I was saying earlier, Shelley and I and our coworkers traveled to lots of conventions, and guaranteed it's not hard to spend by the time you do the hotel, drinks and food and the convention fee for, the booth or attending, or the taxis or car rental, or doing some other events, a human rights museum, whatever you want to do when you're in town. You spend you leave a lot of money in that town. Taxes, of course, is on all that as well. So there is an economic benefit to our province.
The statistics show that the average convention attendee spends almost $300 a day, including their meals, the hotels, souvenirs, retail, visitations to attractions, and so forth on. So if you take the amount of people that you attract times the days that are staying here, you can quickly understand why the spin-off is $38 million and soon to rise to $54 million a year. So.
The other perspective that I have on this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but we go to conventions. We went to a convention in San Diego, never been there before, and it's a beautiful city, and we'd like to go back there now, right? So we never may have gotten there if it hadn't been a convention that was there, but now when can we get back there? Do you find that people get to our province or our city the first time and they're going to come back and spend dollars, obviously, maybe not even on a convention, but as a tourist?
Oh, absolutely. We find that over and over. And for example, I'm sitting on the steering committee for the town of Churchill, there, where we explore exactly that possibility. How can we get the delegates, convention delegates, to either come a day or two before the convention or stay after the convention and go to Churchill or see other sites in Manitoba. And that really is our goal, or have them come back in the summertime with their kids and their families. So it's definitely happening, and this is our ultimate goal, to even increase that.
That's a great idea, because I know the conventions we go to very rarely, but if they do offer a package that interests us, we'll stay an extra day because we're already there. We'll take a day holiday and stay. We'll be right back with Klaus Lahr, the President and CEO of the RBC Convention Center, after we take this break. Welcome back to Food and Friends. Please join me for a special holiday edition of Food and Friends next Monday, September 7th at noon. So it's a special holiday edition, September 7th at noon. My guest will be Clara McKay, Vice President, corporate and community initiatives of the Forks North part of North Portage. Claire will tell us what's new at the Forks. My guest today has been Klaus Lahr, the president and CEO of the RBC Convention Center. This hour has flown by. I'm as excited about the convention center as you are, I think.
Well, thank you for having me. It has definitely been an excellent hour here.
And we're all looking forward to the first official event, Grey Cup, and then a whole bunch of shows next year.
Absolutely. March 1st, keep it in your calendar. Come to the boat show, and from there on, it'll be just one show after the next and one event after the next. So
thanks, Klaus, for being on Food and Friends.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Take care, and please don't forget to eat your veggies.
Well,